Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. All right, Best of Progress Wrestling 2025. Yeah, we've already had one show this year if you're a Progress fan. And that show was Chapter 189, In the Darkest Night. So we're only going to worry about Chapter 188 on back to Chapter 176, which was the first of 2025. So anything that happened on that most recent show, we are not talking about here. Now, going into, so right now, the current champions for Progress Wrestling, the Progress Wrestling World Champion is Man Like Dries. The Progress Atlas Champion is Saxon Huxley, which he's actually defended that title, or won that title on a non-Progress show recently. And, let's see here if I can pull that up real quick. Yeah, he won that on January 1st, and it was at a Pro Wrestling Noah show, if I remember correctly. Which is kind of cool that they let these titles be defended at other companies and actually being won. So it was won at the Noah New Year's show. It was Saxon Huxley versus Will Croce. And Saxon Huxley actually won that title. So yeah, I love the fact that these companies like Progress or some of these AEW and stuff will let these titles not only be defended elsewhere, they'll let them be won elsewhere. Just like the Progress Prettiest title, champion currently is Paul Walter Hausen. He's actually defended that title at a GCW show, the Orange Crush. He defended it at Action Wrestling. He was in the MLW Battle Riot, which I still need to watch. So yeah, you got guys like this defending titles elsewhere in the world. Progress Tag Team Champions are Diamond Eyes, Connor Mills, and Nicolo Angelo. And the Progress Women's Champion is Alexa Falcon. All right, so in 2025, there was 14 shows, 108 matches, 84 men's, 23 women's, and 1 intergender. Man Like Dries had held the title over 153 days. And Paul Walter Hausen is over 283 days. Saxon Huxley is 35 days now, 36 days from the first of the year. Diamond Eyes, they've held the titles over 100 days. So yeah, a lot of great champions there. So we're going to run down the 10 best women's matches of 2025. So number 10 on the list comes from Chapter 183. We had Lana Austin taking on Alexis Falcon. Alexis Falcon got the victory. I gave it 3 1/4. Number 9 comes from Chapter 182. Progress Wrestling Women's Champion in a triple threat match. At the time, champion Rio taking on Kanji versus Ryan Levesque. Rio retained her title in the 3 1/4 star match. Number 8 comes from Progress Chapter 181. We had Lana Austin taking on Kanji. Kanji won the match 3 1/4. Number 7 comes from Chapter 177, My Own Destiny. Progress Women's Title number 1 contender Fatal 4-Way. Lana Austin, Sessions Moth Martinez, Alexa Falcon, and Ryan Levesque. I think it's how you pronounce it. And Ryan Levesque, she won. Give that match 3 1/4 as well. Number 6 comes from Chapter 184. Loser leaves Progress. Nina Samuels taking on Kanji. Kanji got the victory there. I gave it 3 1/2. Good luck with Nina Samuels in her future endeavors. I believe she's wrestling for I thought she was going to go into AEW at one point. And Pro Wrestling Eve, that's the name of the company. Couldn't think of it. Number 5 on the list comes from Chapter 183, Progress Women's Championship on the line. Champion Rio versus Kanji. Rio getting the victory there. I gave it 3 1/2 as well. Number 4 comes from Progress Wrestling Chapter 179. This was the part of the GCW Collective WrestleMania weekend. Progress Las Vegas. The women's title on the line in a triple threat match. We had champion Nina Samuels taking on Rio, taking on Vert Vixen. Nina Samuels retained her title, 3.5-star match. Number 3 on the women's list comes from Chapter 177. Mika Satomura taking on Rio, and Mika Satomura winning the match, 3.5-star. Number 2 comes from Chapter 188, Unboxing 8, The Search for Socks. Progress Women's Championship on the line. Champion Ryan Leveskin taking on Kanji, and Ryan Leveskin retained her title, 3.75-star match. Next up, part of the Super Strong Style from Chapter 180, Super Strong Style 16 tournament, Day 1. Progress Wrestling Women's Championship on the line. We had champion Nina Samuels taking on Rio in a title versus career match with special referee Kanji. Rio beat Nina Samuels for the title, 3.75-star match. Now on to the top 25 of the men's from 2025. These first two actually came from the same chapter, Chapter 178, Fix Your Hands. Last man standing, Eddie Dennis taking on Tate Mayfair. Tate Mayfair's getting the victory there. I gave it 3.5. And then next on the list, also from the same show, was Michael Oku taking on Miles Kamen, and Michael Oku getting the victory. I gave that 3.5. Ironically, the next two come from Chapter 177. Looks like we have a few of these throughout here. There's ones that have multiple. So number 23 and number 22 both come from Chapter 177, My Own Destiny. First one was for the Progress Wrestling Tag Team Championships. We had champion the Smoking Aces, Charlie Stern and Nick Riley, taking on Ali Block and Kuro. The Smoking Aces retained their titles, 3.5. Next was Progress Wrestling World Heavyweight title on the line in a no disqualification match. Champion Luke Jacobs taking on Tate Mayfair's. Luke Jacobs getting the victory. I gave that 3.5. The next 3, 21, 20, and 19 each come from Chapter 176 for the Love of Progress. We had Richard Holiday taking on Mandalek DeReese. Mandalek DeReese getting the victory. I gave that 3.5. One called Manders taking on Tate Mayfair's. Tate Mayfair's getting the victory. I gave that 3.5. And then we had a Texas Tornado match. We had Connor Mills and Nico Angelo taking on Lycos Gym, Kid Lycos, and Kid Lycos 2. Lycos Gym getting the victory. I gave that 3.5 as well. Number 18 comes from Chapter 188, Unboxing 8, The Search for Socks. Progress Wrestling World Championship on the line. Champion Mandalek DeReese taking on Robbie X. Mandalek DeReese retaining his title in a 3.75-star match. The next two both came from Chapter 187, number 17 and number 16. Vendetta 3. First up was the Progress Wrestling World Championship. Champion Mandalek DeReese taking on Tate Mayfair's. Mandalek DeReese retaining his title. This one, same as the previous one, also in 3.75-star match. Next, we have a triple threat match. Leo Rush taking on Scott Overman versus Tommy Tanner. Leo Rush getting the victory. I gave it 3.75 stars as well. Number 15 comes from Chapter 186, Noisy Neighbors. We had Leo Rush taking on Cara Noir. Cara Noir getting the victory there. I gave it 3.75 star. The next two, 14 and 13 on the list, comes from Chapter 183, 100 Volts. Progress Wrestling Tag Team titles on the line. Champions, the Lycos Gym, Kid Lycos, and Kid Lycos 2, taking on the Sunshine Machine of Chris Mambo and TK Cooper. Lycos Gym getting the victory, 3.75 star. Number 13, also from 100 Volts, we had Ricky Knight Jr. taking on Cara Noir. Ricky Knight Jr. getting the victory. I gave that 3.75 star as well. The next four matches will come so 12, 11, 10, and 9 were part of Progress Wrestling Chapter 180, Super Strong Style 16. The first three are coming from Day 2, and then the fourth one will come from Day 1. So these first three would be Day 2, part of the Super Strong Style Tournament. Semi-final match, Michael Oku and Leon Slater. Leon Slater getting the victory. I gave it 3.75 star. The Progress World Heavyweight title on the line, champion Luke Jacobs taking on Cara Noir. Luke Jacobs getting the victory. I gave it 3.75 star. And then the quarterfinal matchup from that Day 2, we had Trent Seven taking on Michael Oku. Mike Oku getting the victory. I gave that 3 3/4 star. From day 1 of the Super Strong Style 16, Chapter 180, we had the first round matchup of Kid Lycos taking on Mike Oku. Mike Oku getting the victory and 3 3/4 star. Number 8 comes from Chapter 178 for Fix Your Hands. Progress Wrestling Tag Team Championships on the line. Champion the Smoking Aces, Charlie Sterling and Nick Riley taking on the Sunshine Machine. And the Sunshine Machine won the tag titles. 3 3/4 star match. Number 7 on the list comes from Chapter 181, Far from Ordinary People. Progress Wrestling World Heavyweight Title line, champion Lou Jacobs taking on Cara Noir. And then Luke Jacobs beating Cara Noir there in a 4-star match. Number 6 comes from Chapter 176, that Progress Wrestling Las Vegas, part of the GCW Collective. Progress Wrestling World Heavyweight Title line, champion Luke Jacobs taking on Mike Oku. Luke Jacobs retaining in a 4-star match. Number 5 comes from Chapter 178, Fix Your Hands. Trent Seven taking on Cara Noir. Cara Noir getting a victory, also in a 4-star match. Number 4, Chapter 185, Jump the Line. Progress Wrestling World Title on the line. Champion Mandalike DeReese taking on Leo Rush. Mandalike DeReese retaining his title in a 4 1/4 star match. Number 3 comes from Chapter 185, Jump in the Line. Progress Wrestling Tag Titles on the line. And a triple threat ladder match. We had champions champions Lycos Jim, Kid Lycos, Lycos 2, taking on Sunshine Machine, Chuck Mambo, TK Cooper, taking on Diamond Eyes, Connor Mills, and Nico Angelo. Connor Mills and Nico Angelo, Diamond Eyes, winning the tag titles. This was from October. 4 1/2-star match. Number 2 comes from Progress Wrestling Chapter 183, 100 volts. Progress Wrestling World Heavyweight Title on line. In a TLC match, champion Lou Jacobs taking on Mandalike DeReese. Mandalike DeReese getting the victory there. I gave it 4 3/4 star. And then the match that I thought was, it was like this when it came to these top two matches. So number 1 on the list comes from Progress Wrestling Chapter 180. Super Strong Style 16 tournament, day 2. This was the finals of the tournament. Mandalike DeReese taking on Leon Slater. And if you've all seen Leon Slater, you know what kind of athlete he is. Mandalike DeReese is just as good, if not a little bit better. 4 3/4 star match, and Mandalike DeReese winning Super Strong Style 2025. Those are the best matches from Progress Wrestling 2025. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show as we do one more. We got one more company doing the best of for 2025. That's going to be GCW. That'll be the 6th year in a row that I've done that. I wasn't able to do everything like I wanted to for this month, for this year, from kind of recouping last year. Hopefully next year we can kind of start fresh with that. But yeah, definitely from the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania, you can find it here on Robert Sports Show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.